How's it going, everybody? Blake here, coming at you with a review for Terrifier 2. As you can see, Art the Clown back there on my wall. Got him right there underneath Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, right next to Ghostface, because I have been saying it for the longest time. Art the Clown deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as these characters. Does he have the legendary status as those characters? Not necessarily, but I'm telling you, one day he will. And he is on his way to becoming the next big horror icon. It's coming, man. It's going to happen for him. Now, before I get into this review, please do like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And comment below if you have seen this movie, and let me know what you thought about it. With that out of the way, man, this movie, gosh, like, this movie, guys, it is so freaking brutal, all right? It is violent. The kills are on another level. This movie, in every way, every single way, this movie is an upgrade over the first Terrifier. This movie, all right, it doesn't have the same low budget type grindhouse look as the first Terrifier movie. Even though I love that about the first Terrifier movie. I love how you know, it has that grindhouse type look to it. And this one has it too. However, this one looks it looks more big budget. It looks like it has some money behind it. And let me say that the prosthetic work, the makeup work, all the makeup effects, all the visual effects in this movie, just everything's done practical. Everything is practical. Yeah, there's some CGI here and there, but it's very little. There is a lot of practical effects, and you know, us horror fans, we love practical effects. All right, we don't get them very much nowadays in horror movies. So getting them here, it's nice. And Art the Clown, gotta talk about Art the Clown. Gotta praise Art the Clown. Gotta give him his credit. Gotta give him his props. David Howard Thornton, man, he is, I'm telling you, in the next 10 years, like, we're going to talk about this man like we talk about Doug Bradley, Robert Englund, Kane Hodder. You know, we're going to talk about, you know, or Nick Castle. Like, we're going to talk about David Howard Thornton in that same breath, man. I'm telling you, he is phenomenal as Art the Clown. Art the Clown is such a great horror villain. You know, I can't talk glowingly enough. You know, he's phenomenal. He does such a good job here. I believe he's going to have a very long career, man. This is just a start for David Howard Thornton. I could see him going beyond the Terrifier movies. And the direction here by Damien Leone, or is it Leone or is it Leone? I want to say Leone. The direction by Damien Leone is so much better in this one than it was in the first one. And I gave him a lot of credit for the first one. And in this movie, like, he really got to flex his muscles a little bit more. He got to do more with this one. And yeah, it's just, he's, I think Damien Leone is going to be a big name in horror. And I can't wait to see what he does, you know, once he's finished with these Terrifier movies. And I do believe he has at least one more left in him. Probably more, but at least one more. Especially with the mythology that's set up in this one and everything. Like, you can definitely tell that there's room to expand going forward. And I don't even know where else he could go. He could definitely explain some of the stuff that's going on for sure. I wish this movie, and that's one of my big gripes with it, and I don't have many gripes, but my big gripe with it is that the plot doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There really isn't much of a plot. And there's some elements that are not, you know, really explained all that well. and it's just kind of like, well, where did this come from? Like, is Art the Clown supernatural? Is he not supernatural? That question is answered in this one, but there are other questions that needed to be answered, and that's a big unfortunate thing about this movie, is that it does leave you wanting to know more. And I don't mean to, you know, echo anyone else's, words with that. But I know other reviewers have said the same thing, and I'm not trying to copycat them in any way. It's the truth. It really is the truth. So yeah, I mean that's really my only gripe is the plot just doesn't make any sense, and that's why I can't really talk much about it. I'll just say that the final girl in this movie, uh, I forget the actress's name, but Sienna, our final girl, she's phenomenal. She's one of the best final girls in a horror movie that I have seen in a really, really long time. Like, she reminds me of the old school final girls, the ones that were actually really good. She reminds me of them. And she definitely, I'm telling you, if a third Terrifier movie comes out, I really hope that she's in it, because I feel like there is so much more of a story there with her. I think it's obvious that there's more of a story there with that character. But yeah, just so many unanswered questions there. And, I enjoyed her little brother too, Jonathan. I thought that kid was a good actor. I thought both of them were good actors. And, one of my big criticisms about the first Terrifier is that the acting wasn't that good. In this one, the acting was actually really good amongst the main characters. I thought some of the acting was a bit overacting, but I'm not gonna. That's nitpicky. I'm not gonna go there. I'll go ahead and I'll get my other negative on out of the way. I just want to be positive about it. The only other negative that I really have is that, and again, I'm just copying the talking points, I guess, but the runtime it's too long. It's too long, man. No slasher movie needs to be 2 hours and 18 minutes. All right, there's no slasher movie in the world that needs to be that long. Not that this movie ever bored me. I will say that, despite my criticisms of the runtime, this movie never ever bored me. At no point was I wanting the movie to be over. There was a certain point when I was like, well, where can they go now? Like, how much longer are they gonna drag this out? And come to find out, they could drag it out for quite a bit longer. That's really my only negatives, though. Again, like, just the lack of a plot, the fact that the plot is all over the place, and the runtime. That's literally the only negatives I have. The acting is good. The makeup, prosthetic work, it is all good. I thought the score, and in my previous Terrifier review that I did, I criticized this movie's theme, saying that it really wasn't all that great. I still don't think it's the greatest thing in the world. I don't think there's anything necessarily iconic about it, but I did like it more. And maybe it's because I heard it over the theater speakers, probably, but yeah, it definitely sounded better. And of course, the kills, all the kills were great. Some of you may be wondering, I'm sure all of you are wondering, if you haven't seen the movie, did they top the hacksaw kill from the first movie? Yes and no, in my opinion. They definitely upped the ante. They definitely went further, for sure. But the shock value wasn't as there. It wasn't not as there. It wasn't there as much as it was in the first movie with the hacksaw kill. Like, that was just something I never thought in a million years I would ever see in a movie. Not that I ever wanted to see it. And it's the same thing can be said for the big money kill in this movie, in Terrifier 2, but it's just, I don't know, man. It just don't have that same shock factor, you know, because I think at this point we know what we're getting into, and we know that Damien Leone and company, they're going to push the bounds, and they're going to go as far as they can go with these movies, and I respect that. As a horror fan, I may not like everything they do, but I respect it. I respect the hell out of it. But and of course the blood and guts. This movie is gnarly. All right, it is so freaking brutal. So much blood, so much carnage, so much mayhem. Like, that's something that I love so much about the first Terrifier movie. This movie takes it to a whole nother level. And I think I already said that, but it does. It takes it to a whole nother level. And the final girl, again, Sienna, phenomenal. She was so good, so great. Her friends even her friends. I like them. I enjoyed them. I thought they were nice additions. I even liked the boyfriend of one of her friends. I thought he was actually a pretty cool character. There are a bunch of likable characters in this movie, in my opinion. Some people might disagree with that, but I wasn't annoyed by anybody in this movie except the mother. I thought the mother was a bit much, man. But I know what they were going for with that, so I'm not going to be hard on them for that one. Everyone else worked for me. And again, Art the Clown, like, tip of the hat, man. Like, Art the Clown is awesome. But yes, guys, that's really all I got for you. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Comment below and let me know what you thought about this movie, if you plan on going to see it. No spoilers in the comment section, please. As far as the rating goes, you know, I guess I'll give it like a, I guess I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 seems fair for this movie. I had a great time with it. I'm glad that I got to see it on the big screen. I'm glad I got to see it with other horror fans instead of just watching it at home alone. You know, it's definitely a different effect actually getting to watch it with a crowd of people and seeing how they react to this movie. Because I'm telling you, we just don't get movies like this anymore. But yeah, guys, that's all I got. And until next time, I'm Blake. Y'all have a good one.